Oh. Hey everybody, today on Feathers Off-Road. I was out exploring recently and I wanted to do a short video on some skills practice that I was doing from some of the skills I learned in that Chris Birch training that I recently took. But 3 of the skills that I wanted to work on today as I was out exploring. One was hill recovery, which you saw in the intro that I dumped the bike. Second one, seated and standing cornering. And third one, I got into some off-camber stuff and I wanted to practice those. So before we get started on any of that, let me just set up the bike. I aired down the tires, I clicked through some things in the menus, and I got some video of that. I haven't been on this side of the road yet, so we will see how it goes. Start recording, track. I just aired down the tires. I'm trying this top of the helmet mount. Not sure that I'll like it, but I've got my chest mount as well for the GoPro. So I am going to set, right now I'm in street. I'm going to change all this to dirt. So we're going to go rally, throttle response, street. And then for the ABS, we're going to go off-road. You can see that the slip is set for 9. I'm going to arrow down, turn that to 1, which is basically off. Here we go. So the first thing I want to talk about is seated and standing cornering. The short answer here to summarize this whole section is always to the outside. You can see examples of this in Chris's videos or in some of my other videos, but generally the answer is leaning your body weight on the outside, putting pressure on your outside foot pegs. This camera angle is a little bit high, so you can't quite see how my body is lined up with the bike. But in some of these other shots where I was wearing it on the chest, you can tell a little bit. The bike is leaned way into the right and I'm leaning way into the outside on that one. Go up here a little bit more, there's an off-camber hill, but you can kind of see from this view a little bit better that bike goes into the corner, body goes out of the corner. Off-camber is different, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but some of these shots show it a little bit better. Really, this is a thing you should try and practice pretty much constantly. You're going to be cornering a lot. This is going to be one of the most used techniques. I try and practice anytime I go out and do any kind of riding, consciously thinking about what am I doing to get a little bit better every single time I go out. Now, because I'm not very good, or at least I don't consider myself very good, this is a skill I use a lot, this hill recovery. And I would say knowing this skill has made me attempt a lot more hill climbs that I probably wouldn't have tried before, because it's just so much easier to get out of a weird situation. So in this case, I'm out riding, just doing some climbs, no real destination, and probably not going fast enough for this hill, but the camera always lies. This is actually pretty steep. I should have had a lot more momentum going up into it, but obviously you can see what happens. Whoa. All right. Hard to tell how steep this is. Bike seems fine. But yeah, this is steep. Just checking out, is there anywhere to go if I keep going up this? Looks like people have definitely been here, but tire tracks. There's a little path over there. Pretty. I might turn around. So I can use my Chris Birch recovery technique. Get this thing turned around. Doing the handlebars lock to lock. Turning it all the way around. Using the clutch in first gear as an e-brake. Might roll to there and then go. I didn't explain it very well because I was doing it, but the idea here is the bike is still in gear, you're tipping the bike towards the hill, towards the uphill side, and then every time you hit the clutch, it allows the bike to go backwards just a little bit. So as you're leaning the bike into the hill, kind of making a U shape, rainbow shape, it's going to naturally kind of roll backwards a little bit. It's really controlled, rolls backwards, and then once you get kind of level with the slope, you can rock the handlebars lock to lock, which you'll see me do here, and that'll dig the front wheel in, and the lock to lock eventually is what kind of points the front wheel back down towards the hill. So the whole idea is you're kind of making a 3-point turn. You're backing up with the clutch. Once you get level, then it's lock to lock to dig in and go back down. Oh man, this is like the best thing I learned in that class. Okay, problem is there's a big rock just to my left, which you probably can't see, so I'm gonna try slide past that guy. Okay, now I'm pointed the right way. Clutch has an e-brake. Awesome. After looking at the video, I'm not sure I have the best footage of off-camber hills. I encountered a bunch on this day, and I'll try and pick a couple shots that show them. But the thing with off-camber is, I mentioned this in my other video, it feels a little bit unnatural. The bike is leaning in towards the hill, and your body is leaning away from the hill. Right? If you lean in towards the hill and your bike is leaning in towards the hill, you're going to cause the tires to slide out from under you. They're going to slide in the direction of gravity and slide down the hill and away. If the bike is tipped into the hill and you're leaning away from the hill, you're kind of counteracting the force of sliding down the hill. And what I would say is you just need to look for opportunities. Like here in this little rut, you know, this little wash, these side hills are not that steep. I try and hit a bunch of them. I'm not hitting every single one, obviously, but this is a skill that, as I mentioned a number of times, it feels weird when you're doing it. And so practicing it eventually becomes second nature. And when you really need to go use it, it's not going to feel weird and you're just going to sail right through. All right, we're done. Trying to practice the wheelie. Hope you enjoyed that video. I'm tired, but until next time, enjoy the ride.